Will you sit for a moment, just a moment? It is late in the evening now, but I'm amazed at the vitality and the commitment of those of you who have been awarded tonight some award, but even more, the greater award of them all, that we have claimed our right to be who we are. I have a friend, a very dear friend, the Archbishop of San Antonio, Monsignor Flores, and he tells the story of going to report to the Pope. Bishops have to do this every 5 years as a minimum. It's called a limina visit, and there are so many bishops around the world who are coming to the Vatican, and it's necessary for the visiting bishop to be brief. Every minute counts. You are going to be there no more than perhaps 15 or 20 minutes, and you have come from very far away. So the person charged with the introduction says to His Holiness John Paul II, Your Holiness, this is Archbishop Flores from Chicago. And Bishop Flores looked at the Pope, looked at the introducer, looked at himself, and he said, No, Your Holiness, I am Chicano. And His Holiness once more said, Chicago, very important, very, very important. And Bishop Flores says, I had only 12 minutes left, and we were still trying to figure out what was the connection between the place that he came from and what his name was. But what mattered to me in this story that Archbishop Flores tells is that there was an identity that couldn't be erased even from the confused situation that had been created in meeting the Pope. We have an identity. When I met Ernie Nieto and Gloria, just as this idea was beginning to be conceived, and they had so much opposition because what other people had in mind was a violent, aggressive way to open up the new doors, the new windows. But Ernie said, what I need is an instrument that will lead young people to be the carriers, the instruments of an identity that keeps growing and growing and growing and becomes more and more and more useful. I go to the legislature these days, and I looked at the roster of the House of Representatives, and how moving it is to see the names of this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. And they are all Chicanos who did not come from Chicago, but Chicanos who saw the future in a lucid, shining prospect. And when I see you young people receiving these awards, I know you're on your way to a larger identity, to one in which we speak Spanish better than Don Quixote, and we speak English better than Thomas Jefferson. Why? Because this is the kind of world that has come into being. It is not possible anymore to live in Texas, or to live in Ohio, or to live in Oregon, or to live in California, or to live in New Mexico, or to live in Colorado without being deeply affected by the presence of Chicanos in all of these places. Why? Because there is no group, there is no community in the United States that has this kind of rich identity that will give to the nation a way to be the best that it can be, because we are there and we will continue to be there. Thank you very much.